Hey everybody, we're ready to go live. MBG Speaks 101, Season 2, Episode 4. The Male Takeover. Confidential informant, Antoine Johnson.
I'm not gonna turn up, I promise.
The fourth link, completion, that is.
You already know.
Okay, are y'all ready?
We are, we are ready.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bring you on in 20 seconds.
Okay.
Are you using that chair? Is that chair in the way?
They can't see the chair yet, can they? That's the third person.
It looks bad.
Hey, quiet on the set, bring you up.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. MBG Speaks 101 Season 2, and this is Episode 4. Before we jump in and before I even begin to recap on last week, you have 60 minutes left. Get to the polls ASAP. Traffic here in the Richmond metro area is horrible, so please hurry up and get out and vote. It was so interesting earlier. Someone made the comment, why is it that people just started posting about voting yesterday and today? Listen, guys, we live in a ADHD, ADD society. People need to know on the moment, in the minute, what is going on, okay? So that's why I believe people start posting yesterday and today. However, since people did start posting yesterday and today, I think it resonated for people to get out and vote this morning. The polls weren't as full as I wanted them to be, and when I checked in with the news midday today, the polls were still lagging. The turnout has not been great, and generally, that low turnout does not impact more conservative individuals. It impacts us, more liberal individuals, I should say. So, let's rock and roll. Last week, we talked about healthy relationships. And talking about healthy relationships, we talked a great deal about advanced directives, medical history, knowing your significant other's mental health history, family medical history, and things of that nature. We also talked about spiritual health and wellness. We talked a lot about making sure that you're really in a relationship and knowing what a relationship is. And when we talk about knowing what a relationship is, we also talked a lot about healthy relationships as it relates to knowing who you are in the relationship and knowing who your partner is. And so with that being stated, we want to give the men a chance to talk about some things, but definitely wanted to make sure we recap from last week. Guys, you can see us on YouTube. You can catch us on YouTube. The reality is, get out there, get to the polls before 7 o'clock. They shut down at 7 and get your vote on. So, MBG is complete. As you know, Motivational Brown Girls was founded around the time that Alton Sterling and Philando Castile were murdered, and I say murdered, in cold blood, because we were outraged. We were outraged at what was going on. And we weren't mad with law enforcement. We were more upset that people really don't know their rights. They don't understand what due process is. They don't understand the various types of detainment and arrest. And so out of outrage and concern for our African American men, we started to talk about what we could do. And we came up with the Motivational Brown Girls platform, which serves to first inform, then educate, thus motivate and inspire individuals to become active agents of change in their respective communities. Well, guess what? We now have a final link to complete the Motivational Brown Girls platform in the form of an African American male, which that's what we want to make sure that we embrace and uplift. We present to you Mr. Antoine Johnson, aka the Confidential Informant. And so Antoine's going to tell you a little bit about himself, and then we're going to dive right into the ultimate male takeover, because y'all already know it's not going down like that. Hey, Antoine.
What's going on, Lillie? First of all, I wanna personally say thank you, Lillie, for giving me the opportunity to be up here and be a part of MBG.
Wow.
Because you couldn't pick anybody to be the fourth lane, but you picked me, so I
You know, it
appreciate
took a
that.
long time. you just fell right in, so yeah, thank you.
But I appreciate
Very
that.
welcome. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. But a little about me. My name is Antoine Johnson. I'm born and raised Richmond, Virginia. I'm 25 years old. I graduated from Virginia State University with a degree in health science, and I pretty much have consumed my life around music, and just trying to stay true to my roots and trying to make change. And sometimes that led to me making sacrifices for better opportunities financially. But overall, I think that I'm on a good path of building more for 92 Forever, and with my manager, Wayne Pugh, I think that we can do a lot of things. And I want to appreciate MBG for allowing me to go up here and, speak upon those experiences and share them with you guys, so I can, branch out and give you guys more about 92 Forever and what more things we want to do.
That's what's up. And look, little sidebar. We have to discuss how small Virginia is.
Yeah.
See, everybody feel like Virginia is just so big. And it could just be that Lily Mae's mouth is just so big and her personality is just so big that she talks to everybody. Like I tell people, if that wall would talk back, I would talk to it. Like it's just like that. But the other thing is, our confidential informant, we actually met via social media, which is so crazy. However, we have a link between the two of us that's ridiculously crazy, because this individual lives in the 757. We met in the 434, but we're all connected through the 804, and so it's ironic that Mr. Antoine's cousin and myself worked together a couple of years ago in the 434. So you never know who you're gonna meet. Don't burn bridges. Always make your first impression a lasting one. And the reality is that me and that individual are still very much close today. And so it's an honor. It is an honor to know and to be able to have someone aboard that truly is a team player. Right. And to know, and I know you come where you come from, who you come from, so you come from good stock. So we ready to rock and roll. He didn't say put some respect on it. He said put your name on it. Woo! All right, so here we go. Antoine, wow. What do men really want? I'm gonna let him take it. What do men really want?
So guys, the women are always gonna hold it down for us, but I want to make sure we get our perspective across on this one. So the topic we're starting off with is, what do men really want? And I want to start that off with 3 questions. I'm gonna give you the first one first. The first question is, why do women think all men are the same? That's a big thing for me, because it blows my mind how a woman can be with and I have nothing against it, but a woman can go from, being with the guy that has all the money, all the cars, he be doing whatever the case may be doing to her, she's getting everything she wants. But then when she leaves that situation, it's hard for her to find somebody that can get her back on pace. Prime example, I'll quote Jay-Z. Okay. When you used to flame me young, it's hard to go back to Hamburger Helper. So the guy that can't provide as much, he's grinding to try to live the proper life, but at the same time, he can't provide as many of those things, and that causes a conflict. Okay. So I really don't understand, why do women think men are all the same? Could you touch on that for me?
So, okay. First and foremost, it's hard. It's going to be hard for me to say that I feel like all men are the same, because I don't. Okay. But.
And I appreciate that.
Coming from friends who say that, most of my friends who say that all men are the same never had a man in their life prior to dating to show them different.
I can agree.
So the reason I don't say that all men are the same is because, I guess too, I'm so picky as it relates to mannerisms and things that I don't really, I'm like, oh no, they definitely not all the same. However, the mommy factor plays a part in all men being the same. And the reason, and that is because an article came out not too long ago. Mothers are responsible for creating the same men that they're complaining about. Because it is a known fact that mother-son relationship is something that's unbreakable. Boys can be irresponsible. They can pretty much set the house on fire, and mama is gonna always forgive. But girls, you will never live down what you do. Trust me, I get it. Cause I know I was a hellion girl growing up. But my brother and I could do the same things. But I'm gonna get that good whooping. I mean, I'm gonna get that mean whooping. I'm gonna get that, shut up that crying folk, I'll give you something. Yeah. But it is what it is. And I think it's the same thing with daddies and daughters. But what is happening is girls just historically, and I think biologically, are created to be caretakers. Right. So we do have a stronger will and a stronger sense mentally than most males do. Right. Males are taught to be physically strong. Right. Females are taught to be mentally and emotionally strong, because think about it, childbirth is what? That's an emotional roller coaster. And so it is crazy. And with that being stated, I think that's a part of the reason why women like, oh my God, all men are the same. I don't yada yada yada. But in my opinion, all men definitely are not the same. And it's evident. And I'm not going, ladies, this is a man that's definitely not like any man that y'all probably after right now. I'm telling you. Because his mentality is so up here that, but I'm going to let him talk because, I get turned up. But.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you on that because, mothers generally do let the male get away with more than the daughter. So I can't disagree with that because we want women to grow up to be Cinderella, but we want the boy to grow up to be a guy that might
Hercules.
A guy that might have a twisted background in that fairy tale story they don't tell about. So I'm just being honest. I'm always going to be real on both sides. But we can go into...
that's why this is the kind of African-American male that MBG embraces. Because he keep it 100. He check us.
We take L's, y'all take L's. It's all good at the end of the day.
Yes. All right. Okay. You all right. Okay. But look, listen, y'all out there. Why do women think all men are the same? Call us 804-915-5202. Tell us what you think. But Antoine, it's odd. I have a question real quick. Okay. Like, what about men though? It's alright. I'm gonna wait my turn. Don't worry about my turn. Don't even answer that, but you better think about it. Let it marinate. I'm gonna wait my turn. So, what's your next question?
So, my next question I have for the ladies out there is, why do women put such an emphasis on sex nowadays?
Wow.
I was a little scared to put this as a question, but I think it needed to be said.
Wow.
I can speak for myself personally. I can't speak for, every other male out there. I can speak for myself because I'm my own man. But for me, it all depends on, I think it depends on the point where you started having sex after a while. That if you started earlier than another dude, or if you had another experience where, I think that you actually love someone, after a while, sex, it's there. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not amazing. I'm going to say this, it's not, you don't have to force it on as much. I've literally seen girls, I see girls go all out for birthdays and say, I want this for my birthday, I want that for my birthday, this, that, and the third. And I literally know my guy friends will literally be fine with reciprocal, her dressing up in lingerie from Victoria's Secret that she might have got buy 3, get 3 free.
Wow.
I'm not trying to put a price tag on anything, but to me, I don't think that's fair to the male because I feel as though it should be on both sides. If you want the trip, then at the same time, you should take some time out to really put something together for your male, not dress up and use sex as a weapon to find some reciprocal for things that he's giving to you of his sacrifices.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm hearing what you're saying. So basically, what I'm hearing you saying is that for you, is this for you? You would rather a female put together a night, maybe even a dinner with your closest friends and your folks, and it be a surprise to you, versus you coming home and she in a cat suit and cracking the whip ready to.
I'm saying this. If your birthday came around and your guy was home and he was dressed in a male form of lingerie at home and that's all you got for your birthday, would you be happy?
So what you saying
That's what I'm
is
saying.
women are more materialistic and men are less
I
materialistic.
think women have the wrong idea because of the upbringing.
Cause I'm not disagreeing with you though.
I don't want to throw shade on them because I feel
I'm
like
with
they
you.
lack
I'm with you.
parents.
Okay. But I mean, I guess where I am is this. I'm not disagreeing with you because I know I've seen a lot of relationships where a man has tried to buy a woman because all the previous women thought that that's what, all the previous women, that's what kept them.
Right.
But then when that man got with a woman that only wanted time and the little things,
Yeah.
he couldn't make her happy because all he knew was buy.
Right.
Being transparent, I dealt with somebody like that. Like the first
I
relationship.
think all women have.
Yeah, the first relationship, the girl directly before me was a Barbie. So, he had to keep her up versus me.
Right.
I was always dealing with somebody else because I didn't ask for nothing. I didn't need anything. So I think you're onto something though.
Yeah, because I think.
I know you don't want to say it, but I said, yes, women, we have a tendency to not appreciate the little things. I already told you, if you can fix a car, you all right with me. If you can plumb a toilet and fix something in the toilet stool, you are all right with me. Give me a cotton picking person, because I almost went there, any day over somebody that's working in a 3-piece suit all day, because guess what? He's spending more time in that office with that secretary than he's spending with you. Hashtag Clintons. But anyway, go ahead.
That's a real statement.
Yeah.
That's a real statement. You're free. Like my peace of mind when I got older, because I was a grinder. Like you can ask anybody that went with me to Virginia State. I was at work probably almost every day, and I was doing 3 internships at one time, 2 hours.
Wow.
So I know that grind. So like when you're doing that grind, it's frustrating once you go back home because you bringing in a lot of things and you getting a lot of achievements, but at home is the most important person. Is not good because you're frustrated off little things that she might not even cause. You just frustrated genuinely because your life is frustrating because you always have something on your plate.
Wow. And that's true. That is so true. And you know what? Wow. You just helped me understand me. Like, and y'all, that's the crazy thing. That's what MBG is all about. Like, people feel like MBG is all about helping other people. But what y'all don't realize is if we don't help ourselves, we can't help you. We can't give you any information. And this is what we do. So what Antoine just said helped me understand a little bit more about me. And the reason that I don't want somebody that people feel like it would be the man of my caliber is because I know how stressed out I am when I get home from work. I don't want to talk about work. I don't want you to talk to me. So I need somebody that possibly works second shift that's not going to get home until I'm already in the bed. Then we can talk about whatever or not talk. I'm just saying. But, you feel what I'm saying? So, wow. See, that's what it's about. It's about complimenting each other. We're not trying to supplement nobody. We compliment each other. That's what MBG is about. Shout out to Amber J, y'all. Amber J is grinding. Amber J got a lot going on. She will not be back this season on MBG Speaks 101, but she is holding it down for Sipping Tea with MBG, which is our podcast that airs every Saturday at 12 noon via Storm Talk Radio 365, via Storm Talk 24/7, and that's Sipping Tea with MBG with Amber J, yours truly, Adam the editor, and now the confidential informant. Antoine, go ahead. What else you got for us? 'Cause I feel like you're trying to come, but I'm gonna let you do that.
So to wrap up that question, I just want to say I just feel like women should have more no self more than trying to show off your physical appearance because your physical appearance is not really what we're really looking for in the long run. Trust me.
Okay.
So my last question I got for you guys is, what can you bring to the table outside of your appearance? So that's why I kind of want to fall into that because, you know, I've dealt with some attractive women. And I say that proud. I've dealt with some strong women in my past. I really don't throw no shade on my exes at this point in my life. I really do praise them. But it was a lot of times where I was really after a girl because of her appearance. But as I got older and I started dating girls with an appearance, it wasn't enough. At the end of the day, I wasn't happy after a while. You know, it's good after a while. I like to use the word trophy when I talk about men because I
don't
honestly...
go there because that's my word, diamond trophy. I got my own definition, but go ahead.
You'll have those girls that you just have like as trophies that all your friends is just like, oh man, how you get her? Or everybody's just like, yeah, that's the girl you need to be with. But really, you're not happy because you don't really know yourself probably, and it's not a good situation. So, and it's frustrating when you find out that girl that got the appearance doesn't bring anything else to the table besides her looks. She spends more time on her makeup than cooking, you know, coming up with things that can build you up, praise you up. When you mention things about spirituality, she says she's bored. Those type of things, like, those are the things that are like huge turnoffs after a while being in a relationship. And that's why people don't make it past the 6 months or the 1 year.
So guys, I mean, what is it? What can you bring to the table outside your appearance? Ladies, same thing. Wow, it's crazy because this is supposed to be the male takeover, but when you really think about it, males and females are so much more alike than we want to give each other credit for.
Yeah.
Because females are the same way. Females are the same way. Like, I know, for me, now I'm going to say this, I got an issue with teeth. Like, teeth is a big thing for me. And let me tell you why, though. It's bigger than just, I got to look at your teeth. But bad dental hygiene is indicative of heart disease and other things.
Right.
And if I'm kissing you and you got germs in your mouth, you transferring that germ into me. And I ain't trying to be sick.
No.
So, I mean, but as far as appearance, trust me, I understand. Transparency. I went from a 417-pound teenager and young adult to now. And the same people I went to high school and college with that don't even recognize me now will approach me now and I'll be like, oh, how you doing? I ain't seen you since school. Who are you? And I'm like, I'm such and such and such and such. No, yada, yada, yada. You look good. And I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with you? Where you been? I have always looked good. You just think I look good to you, but I always look good to me type deal. And so I think the other thing is people need validation. So a lot of females and a lot of males need a trophy because they need validation from other people. They really sincerely care about what their friends think.
Right.
I know that with my ex, when we first met, like I said, he came out of a Barbie doll relationship. So we had a Barbie doll girlfriend. And so when we started dating, it was before the whole weight loss process. And his friends was just like, you downgraded? And he was just like, you know, whatever, because you just don't understand. However, as time went on and his grades in college started to increase, they were like, yo, can she tutor me? Yo, what's up? No, He like, I downgraded, you know. And then when the physical transformation came, then those same so-called friends started to try to conquer and divide. And so with that being stated, it's really there with males and females. It's a sad day that people like your president really and his wife are making it even worse. Because I don't know if you saw this on the news. There is a young lady that paid for plastic surgery so that she could look like Malignant, as Amber calls her, Malignant. She wanted to look just like her because she felt that she's beautiful and she's popular and she is a princess. You know, I'm like, really?
And that's frustrating. I don't feel as though no woman should, you know, change your physical appearance. If you do want to change your physical appearance, there's multiple ways to do it without, you know, hurting yourself. You know, if you're going to go through with surgeries and things of that nature, you can, but understand that there is a risk doing that as well. So it's really better, you know, to naturally just work out, change your eating habits. Those are the best ways to do it. I understand, you know, not having that attention is frustrating because when you want those guys that are are looking at those women and you want to have that same appearance, it can get frustrating, but you have to understand that you are yourself. And if you don't know yourself, then you just be getting it with some guy you didn't even know it, that you didn't even like at the end of the day. So I would definitely advise that.
Whoa. Wow. Know yourself. And y'all know, the confidential informant just legit came aboard like October 31st. Know yourself. I mean, he touching back on some of the things that MBG was founded upon. Know yourself. Guys, know yourself. I'm telling you, those mommy issues are ruining relationships. I'm telling you.
And I'm a victim, I'm not gonna lie. I got away with a lot as a child.
But
shouldn't have.
But you didn't allow it to absolutely consume you to the point of no return. Like, my personal thought is, you may have had the spoiling, but you didn't allow it to consume your life. You had a good balance.
I mean, my balance, I think it comes from, it's just a goal. Like, when you set a goal, my ultimate goal is to always be like the best family man I could be, because my father really wasn't around. So I had that stamped in my head from a long time ago to be like, I knew that was the overall.
But you had a father figure somewhere. I could just tell because
absolutely.
Yeah, because this is the thing, and this is what I need people to understand. The absence of a parent it's not going to necessarily destroy you. Okay? I know that research, talks about children coming out of single parent homes, but anybody can defy the odds. But I want you to understand what I'm saying. Antoine is definitely a representation of that very small microscopic view of individuals who truly decided, my dad isn't here, but that father figure that I have is so close to me and is so tied to me, and I'm being reared by his left hand, not his right hand. Because generally that daddy's right hand grabs you. But I'm being reared by that left hand to the point where I cannot get away. Yeah. I am going to do what I need to do. And I think what happened with that is that, coupled with your mom, taught you, oh wow, this is how I treat women. Because I saw that father figure treat his significant other this way, and my mom treated me this way, so that means that if mom treated me this way, then this is how I love a woman, the way I love my mom. Right. And it goes, because some people, and I hate to say it like this, I have seen some mother-son relationships where I really feel bad for the sons, because it's just like, they really have nowhere to learn love from. Like their mother's cussing them out. You just like your no good daddy. You trifling, you stupid, you ain't gonna be nothing. But when you keep speaking negative into your boys, they're gonna become negative men. Hence, why the article states, and it was talking about black women. We are creating the very men that we end up complaining about. Yep. I mean, it's crazy. So guys, we're gonna tune in to social media in the second segment, but please, call us 804-915-5202. This is the Ultimate Male Takeover. And at this point, I really don't have any rebuttal for anything that Antoine is talking about, because he's going. But this is the thing. Do you believe that a male can be in an abusive relationship? And I want you to just think about that for a little bit. I want you to think about it, because I have my own thoughts, and I jotted down a couple of things that I want men to hear. And I'm going to get more into that in a second. Oh, we got somebody here. Let's see who it is. MBG Speaks 101. It's your girl, Lillie Mae, and the confidential informant, Antoine Johnson. Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with this evening?
My name is Terry Wayne Hill. How are y'all doing?
Hello, how are you?
I am great. Love this type of program. I'm all for it. I call in every time something interesting is on where I can add to that prosperity and to that reaching out. So I'm just calling to say hi to you both. I just turned to the program 3 minutes ago, and already I like what y'all are saying.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Excuse me, any way you choose, ask me anything. What I'm all about comes from the Father. There is a way to get peace and to overcome the things that's happening in this world with the youth and all that. But if they don't know, if we are not telling them the truth, then things will remain the same or get worse. It seems as though it's getting worse. This is what is written in the Word of God. No matter what one believes, the truth is the truth. And I just wanted to share that. We live in a time right now where, and I call this show a lot, talking with different ones, and I speak on the book of Revelation.
All right.
The reason I do that is because we're living in it. That is not being taught, and that's why people are saying that, oh, why is this happening? Why is that happening? It is all written in the book of Revelation. I have pastors to tell me when I ask them, are you teaching? Are you speaking this word of revelation to your congregation, to people that you interact with every day? They say, some of them are honest and say no, because that book is so this, it is so that, it is so destructive. No, it isn't. It is only destructive to those who don't overcome. And God gives us the blueprint on how to overcome this evil world, this evil system that we live in, especially, I hate to say it like this, but it's true, brown people in America.
All right.
The answers are right there in the book of Revelation. And since I have decided to take this route, He's revealing more and more to me, and I'm able to help more and more people, even people much older than me that have been in church for 40 years that didn't have a clue as to what that book is talking about.
And so, and you know what, Mr. Hall, thank you so much for calling us.
I'm
sorry, Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill, thank you so much for stating that, because I think that where we are, and this is the ultimate male takeover. I want to first emphasize that. So I'm glad that you called African American male, because one thing about the Motivational Brown Girls platform is that we definitely embrace our African American males, and you are speaking to us with words of wisdom, and we really appreciate it. And you are correct. I think that there are so many people who are just in the church, but they are not. They don't have the church in their heart, because the church is a building. And I think that's what we have to understand, that we need more men who have the church in their heart and not just in the church. You always hear people say, oh, we need men in the church, we need men in the church. Okay, but if the men in the church still sleeping with the women in the world while they got a woman that's in the church too, what are you teaching? What can you teach the masses if you're not practicing what the word says? So, Mr. Hill, thank you. And please, 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 if you're on social media, definitely check our page out. It's Motivational Brown Girls. We have a wealth of information out there, and we love to talk to you and possibly have you as a guest on our podcast. So please reach out to us again via social media, and we would love to chat with you.
Oh, it's been great. Thank you for giving me
No, thank you. Thank you for calling MBG Speaks 101. You have a great evening. Guys, see, that's what it's all about. And MBG is mutually inclusive. All ages, all race and ethnicities, gender, political affiliation, sexual orientation, it doesn't matter. But what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with you in a couple of minutes.
Hey, 2 minutes, right?
2 minutes, yeah, that's fine.
Let them know.
So
You're
you
gonna
want to come up and join us? Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Come on up. And I'll fly over, and you just come right on up and join us. And so this is Ursula.
How you doing?
And Ursula has a story. And we're going to have to put it, I'm trying to think when we can actually do yours. We got to put yours out there.
You're at 6:34 right now, so.
Okay. So guys, I hope, look, I can't see the social media comments. Let me try to get into mine real
It hasn't
quick.
been much.
So,
Just people saying hi.
yeah, it's probably because the other thing is I can't get into it like I want to. Cause normally I have my laptop and I'm sharing this to all the groups, but we're here. Snap.
Oh, look,
Y'all know me on Snapchat. Only me.
Let them know you're coming back in about 1 minute.
We'll be back in about 1 minute. How are you?
Good. Like, I'm just listening, like, I want to comment. I'm up here like, do I need to take my phone out? I'm ready to comment now.
It's real.
But it's real good to have a male voice, though.
Yes, and African American and a very intelligent African American male. So yes. So now we're coming back. So it's okay that LGBT people have to be some ways in here. So we're just gonna keep going and we're just gonna what is all these men in this abusive relationship? I don't think people understand what's going on and how it how hard it is.
I want to look for it.
Because when you leave, most guys get blamed and then they get hurt.
Kendall is here. I should be able to add there we go.
Okay, y'all ready to go back?
We already, and there is an individual that should be coming in, but I told him, he was like, he pulling up, he's not here yet, so I don't know. But we'll,
6:36.
yep, we're gonna go ahead and jump back in.
15 seconds.
Keep this going. All right. Hey everybody, and we are back. Thank you so much. Let's just talk a little bit about what MBG Speaks 101 Season 2 Episode 4. We have to introduce to you, if you are just joining us, this is the fourth link to Motivational Brown Girls, the African American male experience. He brings forth the African American male experience. We embrace him. You know, the MBG was founded on the backs of our African American men, and so we are so glad to have the fourth link, the completion link for the Motivational Brown Girls platform, the confidential informant, Mr. Antoine Johnson. But I needed backup because what you don't understand is I never thought in my lifetime that I would meet a man that had a strong personality and had stronger views than me. So I needed some backup. So I pulled out of the woodworks Miss Ursula. And so this evening, as this is the male takeover, and he pretty much is probably like 5 or 6 men wrapped in one because he got it all. We're gonna talk a little bit about how men and if men can be in abusive relationships. And so hopefully we're gonna close out the segment with a special treat. But do you think men can be in an abusive relationship?
I believe so.
Okay.
I've seen it. I don't know how guys. Some guys they enjoy it and they willingly stay in it, knowing that they're in an abusive relationship. That's how they work. I've seen times where both were abusive, and that's just how they got along, and they just stayed together forever, and they were happier than some of these happier couples.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at social media comments, and we always like to address you. So everybody, thanks so much. Thanks so much for tuning in. A gentleman said, women forgot to be women, trying to establish their place in a man's world. Wow. Women forgot to be women. Okay, you know what? One thing about me, when people step on my toes, I'm going to address you. No, we have not forgotten how to be women, but what has happened, your mamas done pacified y'all too much. So we got to be women and men because we got to try to give y'all some masculinity because y'all mama done pacified all of it out of you. Okay, let me step back because I'm getting a little tired.
It's okay, sis.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my mother hate when y'all say that. But you know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm saying. So you see, he tried to put that hood on. Because I told him in the second segment, I'm coming with fire. Because it annoys me though.
I mean, but at the same time, women can definitely. I'm just.
Women can definitely work. Okay, Antoine. Okay, I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna cut your head off.
I will say this. After we establish, I think at some point, as people in general, you have to establish you were mistaught and you were misled. So once you establish that, that's when I believe you become an adult. Until you can establish that, you're not an adult in my book. Until you can establish that you were misled and lied about some things, you're not an adult in my book.
Whoa. Okay.
So that's how I separate women
All
from
right.
girls.
We in agreement.
Right.
We in agreement.
We'll accept that.
I agree. Now that I agree about.
That's just how I see it.
And transparency. Once again, transparency. Because this is the thing, guys. MBG can't try to help you if we don't tell you what we've been through. So transparency. So for me, I had to accept that I was a spoiled brat. Now, this is the difference. I'm not selfish, but I'm spoiled. And with that being stated, my mindset tells me I gotta get it all for me. Because I can't depend on anybody else to get it for me because the man that got it for me died when I was a teenager. So, you know, for most women, they would go looking for a man to get it for them. But for me, I think what has happened is I'm bypassing the men because I'm trying to get it for me so that later in life, I won't want for nothing.
Yeah.
I won't need a man to make sure I got a roof over my head, to make sure I got 4 wheels to drive. But at the same time, my mom taught me that too. But she had a good man. She had a great man. So it's like, I don't think women have forgot to be women, but I think women are raising boys that don't know how to be men. Because once again, listen to what I said. Women are raising boys. Women are raising boys. And y'all, the perspective of the hour has entered the building, but we're going to wait about 5 minutes because we don't want to interrupt what we're discussing right now. But I think this is a hot topic because this is the male takeover. So why do you think that men end up getting in abusive relationships? Because you told me that you like to throw it back on the parents. So why do you think men get into abusive relationships?
Well, it could be multiple things. It could be parents. It could be a desperate soul. It could be somebody that's just out here desperate. They don't have anybody that's going to give them that attention that they need. Whether it's the parent, whether it's a teacher at school, if there's some bit of attention a person is missing, they get into a desperate mode and they try to just pretty much be with anybody. In urban terms, as people say, you pretty much start messing with a girl that's looks worse than your last girl that you were with.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay,
which
so
not necessarily might not be the case.
Okay.
But we've all seen it in high school where the guy he falls off and then he starts reverting backwards more.
Now
It's
I
like
see
that.
it differently.
Okay.
So when I think of males being in abusive relationships, I see it as to where they're not actually aware that they're in an abusive relationship because it goes a little bit differently. Like for women, we tend to think about verbal abuse and physical abuse, but a lot of women are verbally abusive and the males don't realize that. They just see it as nagging. But when a male is in a relationship and his woman puts him down, says, you ain't good for nothing. Basically, when you have those women that throw those temper tantrums and they do all of that blaming on their male partner, that is a form of abuse toward a male. A lot of women think that they can do what I call the soap opera syndrome, where it's okay to slap your man because he did something and you don't expect for him to slap you
I was
back.
getting ready to say, now I'm sorry. Okay, you know what, go ahead.
Right, okay, that is still abuse. That is an abusive relationship because you have a lot of men that still will not hit a woman and they take it. That is abuse. Ladies, if you're doing that, you are an abuser. Then you also have a form of abuse because you may have a male that has low self-esteem, that is not aware that he has low self-esteem, and you may be using, as you said earlier about like the 3 for 3 at Victoria's Secret, you may be using your sexuality to get things from this male. He may know that he has no way to provide this for you, but because you use your sexuality, basically the Players Club syndrome, using what you got to get what you want.
Yep.
So that is a form of abuse, and that is abusive toward the male as well. But I think when a man is in a relationship and they begin to see a pattern, they shouldn't be afraid, because a lot of times our men have been taught that they have to be tough and they have to have this image that they have to uphold. So, you know, what this girl's talking about, you know, they not bothered by that. But if you weren't bothered by it, then you would stand up and say something. So I think a lot of times women, we can be abusive, but if it's a pattern, men, you need to find your voice. You need to speak up.
And you know what? Just to really close out what Ursula said, listen, if you need help, say you need help. The time of what goes on in this house stays in this house is over.
Yes.
People are committing suicide, and I'm sorry, in the African American community, because that's who I am. People are committing suicide at increasingly high rates this day and time, all because you men have been taught that what goes on here stays here. Guess what? You need to make yourselves vulnerable and start telling people, look, this is what's going on, I need help. There's an article, and I pulled the article, and the article said, does your girlfriend or wife yell, scream, and swear at you? Do you feel like you can't talk to anyone about your relationship because they just wouldn't understand? Is your relationship making you feel like you're slowly going crazy? If so, you are probably involved with a woman who is an emotionally abusive bully.
Yes.
And what do bullies do? Bullies take from you and take from you and take from you and make you look stupid, when the reality is that they are the reason that you are where you are. However, you are the reason that you stay where you are. Wow.
Yes.
I'm fired up. I'm so fired up. But look, because this is the ultimate male takeover, and we women are not moving, because technically we're not really letting them take over. We just allowing them to think they're taking over. We are getting ready to have one of the men tag out for about 5 minutes, because we have a special guest in the building who is going to bring what men really want from a different perspective. Can you tag out?
Oh yeah.
So Mr. Antoine gonna tag out, and we are bringing on someone who truly comes from a very diverse background and is going to bring us a perspective from the LGBT community. Hello, darling. How are you? So, introduce yourself, Daddy.
Hello everyone, my name is Kendall.
Wait a minute, Kendall. You already know we got nicknames. Please tell them who you are. Kendall Da
Prince
Ooh.
Merritt. You can find me on Facebook, Kendall Da Prince Merritt. Instagram, Prince_Twan. Yeah, that's where you can find me at.
So Kendall, we've talked about a lot.
We have.
And the reality is that how can you speak to what men want in a relationship from a different perspective, from the perspective of the LGBT community?
Well, to be honest with you,
Or is it different? Is it even different?
it has its pros and cons.
Okay,
It has
okay.
its pros and cons.
So, alright, so, not to put you on the spot,
No, you're fine.
are you single, dating?
I'm single.
So, perfect. So, what do men want? What is it that you want in a relationship?
What I want in a relationship, I want someone to love me for who I am. No judgment. Especially communication. I want somebody to just love me. I mean, it feels good to be loved and to be appreciated, and know that you are somebody, not just a number. Just let it be known, like, who I'm with. Like, it feels special for someone to do that to you.
You know, so alright, you said you want somebody to love you, you said communication, and for people to know who you with and who they with.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes, but I'm holding it. I don't want to interrupt you. This your moment, because you know I'm going to come back.
I know you do.
All right, so we
Yeah.
just keep going. What else? Okay.
Well, I'm gonna start off. Well, I actually was in a relationship for 10 years with a female. I was engaged for a year and a half with a female. I was hiding my identity of who I actually was. I knew I was gay when I was 15, 16 years old.
Wow.
And I hid it and hid it. No one actually knew. My family knows. But when things started to trickle down and everything like that, I actually kind of took a step back and actually knew what I wanted. And it's just something about, I'm gonna be vulnerable, I'm gonna be honest. Something about a man touch. Something about how he look at you, how he make you feel. It's just something in a man that makes, sometimes you have to play the woman part and the man part. And I actually kind of play both.
Because I
Far
know
as
you be
feelings.
aggressive shit.
So, I mean,
It'll be dancing.
so it just all depends, like, who you want, like, what's your sexuality, like, what do you want? As in, like, out of a relationship.
Wow. It's so interesting. And men, I need you, and right now, this is for heterosexual men and men who don't want to come to grips with who they truly are.
Yes.
What the Prince just said was that love, communication, and just making it known. That's the same thing that women want. It's the same daggone thing. There are too many people walking around here in relationships that only you and that person know you're in a relationship. And it's not that everybody needs to know for your relationship to be valid, but it's mighty funny that everywhere you go, you're always by yourself with your crew and you never with your significant other, but you always with your significant other behind closed doors when nobody else can see it. That's a little suspect to
It
me.
is a little suspect.
The other thing I think you were hitting on, Kendall, and I'm going to put it out there. Men, if you have wives, if you are a man of the cloth, if you are in law enforcement or whatever, come to grips with who you are and stop going out here sleeping around, dating and doing all this stuff with men and you have women at home. You need to talk to that woman and say, look, this is who I am. I'm so sorry I've been carrying you. Because one thing about it, STDs is real. AIDS is real. And these are the things that we really have to talk about. But murder-suicides are also at an all-time high in our communities. More than before. And a lot of these things, no, not a lot, the majority of them are domestic violence situations as a result of finding out things that people never thought would go on in their respective homes. And we appreciate you for coming out this evening and being vulnerable and talking about the issues and talking about who you are. And this is my thing, guys. Be who you are. Be who you are. Please.
Accept yourself. Love it's self-love first and foremost.
Wow.
You have to love yourself in order to love anybody else. But the thing with that is you have to be upfront with your mate. Just don't go behind about it, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're married, engaged, whatever the case may be. Just don't do that. It's just not right. Just be upfront. And you hurt both sides, to be honest with you. You basically hurt yourself because that's not who you truly are.
Very much true. And one more question just before we let y'all tag back out so we can close out. Do you ever think about a woman or do you ever desire?
Oh, trust and believe me, if I have had that one woman
Oh,
that understands me, I would definitely.
hey, I
Trust
see.
me.
Look,
I'm serious, like,
so many men would not
just-
be up.
I would. I mean, I dated a woman for 10 years. And if the tables could turn and if we have a communication, we come to grips and we understand each other, of course.
I know that's right. Y'all check him out, Kendall Da Prince Merritt, Facebook. And if you have any questions or whatever, hit him up. I'm pretty sure Kendall loves to talk, so he'll talk to you. For real.
I got you.
Thank
I
you.
can get you some insights.
Thank you so much. Guys, we're going to bring back Antoine, the confidential informant, so we can close out MBG Speaks 101, Season 2, Episode 4. This has been real. It is the ultimate male takeover. It's real. It's so real because when we decided on Antoine Johnson, we never knew that we were truly getting somebody who was just what we needed. I mean, in this unit, in this four-legged instrument comprised of Lillie Mae, Amber J, Adam the Editor, now Antoine, he is the man. We allow him to be the man. And this is the interesting thing. You know, back in the day, they say a woman is quiet. A woman's supposed to sit back but guess what? He is the man. He sits back. He's quiet until he needs to speak. And when he brings forth the information, that's when we know the deal is sealed. And to me, that's what the man does. That's what I saw my daddy do. That's what I saw my daddy do. At the end of the road, he was like, deal sealed.
Right.
So we are trying to emulate what we want to see other people emulate for their kids. We are letting the confidential informant, confidential, private, informant, bringing forth information. So he's working behind the scenes, so be careful. Be careful. Because he's everywhere. He's in places that you might not see us. But just know that he's always working, MBG and 92 Forever, because he is the confidential informant. Alright? So check it out. MBG has something great to talk to you about, and it's forthcoming. But we have partnered with some awesome barbers, stylists, makeup artists, and entrepreneurs in the area. And we will be bringing a holiday drive to the greater Richmond metro area. So please stay tuned for more information. This man on point, because he about to do some things. He about to do some things. So, yo, MBG Speaks 101, Season 2, Episode 4. Thank you, Mr. Hill, for calling in. Thank you, Kendall Da Prince Merritt. Check him out on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Motivational Brown Girls with the Y and the Z. We're all over the place. Google us. We are definitely on YouTube. You can catch this episode. I'm your girl, Lillie Mae. And remember, MBG listens and then we speak. Good night.
All right, y'all.
Hey y'all, I think the mics are down. Thank you so much. We are still live. Kendall, come around and say hi to everybody. There's Kendall, everybody. Everything was great. This was an awesome episode. Thank you for participating. And the reality is this. Men, the questions that Antoine posed are as follows. Antoine said, why do women think that all men are the same? Why do women put such an emphasis on sex? What can you bring to the table outside of your appearance? I'm going to say this to you men. When y'all stop entertaining trophies with airheads for brains, then maybe you will find the women that you want. But I want you to continue with your trophies, your Coke bottles and all of that, and I want you to keep getting your hearts broken. But just know that the women who are out here who are looking to build you up and not tear you down, we're going to be way on the other side. And you might be a little mad because we might have to dip over in some whole milk, whole milk, just to prove a point. Not me though, but I'm just saying. But for real, once again, MBG Speaks 101, Season 2, Episode 4, Antoine Johnson, the confidential informant, the completion link, the fourth link to MBG, Miss Ursula, and the Prince Kendall. Thank you guys so much, Amber J. Adam. We miss y'all.
Yes.
But I held it down. Antoine held it down. Peace and love, everyone. We'll holler at you later.
That was good.